They laughed at the quiet woman in row 8. Until the bus driver grabbed the mic and exposed her true identity. What happened next left the entire bus in shock. Stay till the end, this twist will change how you judge strangers forever. The city bus was unusually full that morning, packed with businesspeople, students, and chatterboxes rushing to their destinations. In the middle of all this, a woman in her late 50s sat quietly in row 8, wearing a plain shawl and simple sandals. Her hair was tucked under a scarf, and her gaze stayed low, avoiding the judgmental eyes around her. Some passengers sneered as they passed her, whispering things like, "Must be another jobless nobody." Her clothes weren't fancy, her phone was an old model, and she didn't speak a word. A group of well-dressed young professionals nearby started laughing loudly, pointing subtly in her direction. Row 8 really attracts the dusty crowd, one of them joked, earning snickers from his friends. The woman heard them, but said nothing, not even flinching. She simply looked out the window, as if waiting for something beyond the ride. What no one knew was that their assumptions were about to be shattered. As the bus moved through the bustling streets, the laughter grew louder. "Hey lady, you lose your mansion and end up here with us peasants," a man mocked, loud enough for others to hear. The woman still didn't respond, her silence seemed to irritate the mockers even more. "Maybe she can't understand English," another one chimed in sarcastically. One woman muttered, "Honestly, people like her bring down the whole vibe of public transport." Still, the woman didn't flinch, she only clutched her purse tighter. A mother and child sitting across from her gave her a sympathetic glance. But even they didn't dare speak in her defense. The bus driver glanced in the rearview mirror, his eyes narrowing slightly. Something about her calm composure caught his attention. The bus hit a red light, and the driver stood up slightly from his seat. He picked up the handheld microphone connected to the intercom and cleared his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen, a moment please," he began, catching everyone's attention. The passengers quieted down, thinking it was a safety warning or perhaps a detour update. Instead, the driver said, "I think you all should know who you're sitting with this morning." Confused glances bounced around the bus. "That woman in row 8, the one you've all been mocking," he paused. The mocking passengers rolled their eyes. "She's not just anyone," the driver continued, "she's the founder of the city's largest women's shelter and has saved over 500 lives." A stunned silence followed. All eyes turned back to the woman in row 8. For a moment, no one said a word. The mocking group looked like they had been slapped. The woman slowly turned her head and met their gaze for the first time, her eyes calm, steady, and full of quiet strength. The child across from her smiled brightly. "I know you," he said. "You're the lady from the news. Mommy showed me." The mother nodded slowly, tears forming in her eyes. "She helped my sister escape an abusive marriage," she whispered. The well-dressed bullies sat frozen in embarrassment, their faces drained of color. One of them stammered, I didn't know." The woman only offered a gentle smile. "You never asked," she replied softly. The driver added, "She rides this bus every month to personally check on the shelter branches she founded. She doesn't own a car by choice." The atmosphere shifted completely. Passengers who once ignored her now looked at her with admiration. Someone offered her a bottle of water, another quietly thanked her. The young professionals sat in shameful silence, unsure how to recover from their mockery. One of them, a woman in designer heels, finally said, "I'm so sorry. We had no idea." The woman in row 8 nodded gently. "Compassion shouldn't require knowing someone's resume," she said. Her voice was calm, but each word carried weight. The driver smiled proudly. "Ms. Eliza Harper is a city hero. She's been honored by mayors, governors, even appeared on national TV." Phones started coming out, people quickly Googling her name. And sure enough, there she was, Eliza Harper, founder of Grace Harbor, a national movement. People stared at their phones, reading article after article about her achievements. One headline read, "Former homeless woman now runs 10 shelters across the state." Another said, "Eliza Harper's life work saved a generation of abused women." The passengers were dumbfounded. How could someone so important choose to dress so simply and ride a public bus? But Eliza didn't seek recognition, her life was built on service, not ego. "I ride this bus," she said to no one in particular, "because I once lived on these streets. I want to remember where I came from." The entire bus went silent again, this time out of respect. Some passengers wiped their eyes quietly, others looked down, ashamed. The woman who once sat ignored in row 8 was now the heart of the entire journey. The mocking group tried to redeem themselves. One man offered his seat, another tried to donate to her foundation on the spot. "We'll tell others about your work," they promised. Eliza smiled, telling others is good, but treating others better, that's where real change begins. A few people nodded, deeply moved. Even the driver had misty eyes. "Ma'am," he said, "you've reminded us all today that appearances deceive, but dignity doesn't." Eliza looked around the bus, pausing thoughtfully. "Everyone is fighting a battle you don't see," she said softly. "Be kind, always." The bus rolled on, but the ride had become more than just a commute. It had become a lesson in humility, compassion, and unexpected greatness. As the bus neared its final stop, people began gathering near Eliza, shaking her hand, thanking her. Some asked for pictures, others asked how they could volunteer. Eliza shared a small card with her shelter's website and smiled warmly. "The shelter always needs hands and hearts," she said. The little boy across from her gave her a flower from his mother's purse. "You're like a superhero," he beamed. She chuckled, "A very quiet one, maybe." The crowd laughed gently, their earlier cruelty now a heavy memory. Even those who didn't speak earlier seemed visibly affected. The young professionals got off the bus, but not before each of them apologized again. "Thank you for teaching us something real," one said. After most of the passengers had left, Eliza remained seated, her stop still ahead. The driver pulled the bus aside and turned to her. "You want me to wait till you finish your tea," he joked, handing her a small cup. "You remembered," she smiled. They'd become friends over her many visits. "You always drink tea after a lesson," he teased. She nodded, sipping slowly. "Because every ride is a chance to reach someone," she replied. "Sometimes the most powerful moments happen in the quietest places." The driver sighed deeply, feeling lucky to have witnessed what had happened. "You're changing lives without even raising your voice," he said. Eliza smiled, "That's the best way." As Eliza finally stepped off at her stop, the city felt a little brighter. People on that bus wouldn't forget what they saw, not just a woman in row 8, but the strength, humility, and grace she carried. News of the incident went viral within days. Social media exploded with hashtags like #Row8Angel and #DonTJudgeByAppearance. Donations poured into Grace Harbor, and volunteer applications doubled. But for Eliza, it wasn't about fame. She continued her routine, quietly serving the city, one person at a time. And for those who once mocked her, the experience changed how they looked at strangers forever. Row 8 was never just a seat, it became a symbol of hidden greatness and second chances.